Just when America has reached a breaking point with division, visionary influencer Danni Benson's I'm Proud of You Sis bro movement taps into the pulse and heartbeat of a culture radically torn. But this loving mom's voice of reason and calm has received national recognition.
How'd you balance having your children and always traveling with the Yankee organization?
When I became a dad, I said that I would always love like a mother.
I feel like I have to try certain things or act a different way because I know some people or some kids.
So join Danni Benson as she celebrates her special guests on her show and highlights their gifts and contributions to our world.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Danni Benson. I am host of I'm Proud of You Sis. Please like, share, follow, comment. I'm so excited to be here. I have this amazing singer on today that I want to give her flowers. Her name is Kristina Halloway. She is a gospel singer, and she discovered her talent at the earliest of age. She has 2 songs on iTunes right now called Faith on 1,000 and Just a Sunrise Away, which I love so much. She has an amazing voice, everybody. Also, credit to her, she used to sing background with singer Little Mo. And also for an off-Broadway play called The Greatest Love Ever Told. She also has been nominated in the categories of New Artist for the Stellar and ASCAP Awards and the BET Awards. So everyone, please welcome Kristina Halloway to I'm Proud of You Sis. Hi, Kristina. Hi, how are you, beautiful?
Hi, I am good. Can you see me, Danni?
Yes, I can.
Can you see me? Okay, you look so beautiful. How are you?
You look so beautiful too. I love your eyebrows.
You do? Oh, thank you. I just filled them in. I was trying to make sure I look good.
Amazing. How are you today?
Thank you. I am doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm here because I want to give you your flowers. I heard your amazing voice a few weeks ago. The song is still ringing in my head. Faith on 1,000. Playing it in my house. Hey, where'd you go? You're right here. Oh, I can't hear you. You went out and I can't hear you. You're gonna have to go out again, go out and come back. Hi. She's so excited. So anyway, I went to a conference a couple of weeks ago for Women's History Month, and Kristina was there performing her beautiful song called Faith on 1,000. So I was so proud of her performance. Her voice is just so simply beautiful that I wanted to give her flowers because I don't know. It's just something about her. She's so sweet and innocent. She's been in the music industry for a long time. She's a gospel singer. So I wanted to give her the platform so other people could find out about her, even though she is known out there. But I wanted her to come to my shows to give her flowers. So Kristina is on her way coming back in. But I want to thank you guys for joining. I'm proud of you, sis. Hi, how are you?
Back.
Hey, you're back.
Okay, we're good now. We are good. We're good. Okay.
Well,
we're good.
Okay, so you're good. So I wanted to talk to you about when did you discover that you could sing? Like, what happened that you was like, oh my God, mommy, I can sing. Oh my God, I can sing. Like, what happened?
You know what? Honestly, I was so young. I think I was around like maybe 8 years old. And when I was 8 years old, I was just like, I was humming around the house, and then my parents was like, what is she doing? She can hold a tune. And so I was like, whatever. I wanted to be a teacher. I didn't want to be a singer. I wanted to be a teacher. And because I have a love for children. And so then I was like, yeah, maybe I can just sing just a little bit. Let me do it. And so then they saw that I can sing. They were like, we're going to cultivate this more. We're going to get her in singing lessons. We're going to put her in the the choir at church and stuff like that. So they really wanted to get me involved way more. So yeah, that's what had happened.
And then when you discovered you knew how to sing, did you know how to sing before your parents realized it? That's why you were humming tunes in the house, or you just
Right.
didn't realize it?
Honestly, no, I didn't realize it. It just kind of came natural. I didn't even know. I did not know that. I mean, I come from a singing family, a very musical background family. So I knew that I was going to be singing, but I didn't know to what capacity, you know. So on both sides of my family, they both sing. So for me to kind of inherit the gene is not so far-fetched. So yeah.
So okay, so what was the next step? You joined a choir at
I
church.
Yeah, joined the choir because my dad's a pastor. So like I was on the choir, I was on the ushers board, I was taking the offering, I was making
Everything.
envelopes, I was doing everything. Yeah, you know, as the pastor's kid, you just take on the responsibility of whatever they give you. Like that's just what it was. So when I did that, I started singing, and then from there I was like, you know what? Maybe we should do something with this. But I still wanted to be like over the youth. My dad had maybe over the youth department. Oh, is that your dog or your cat in the back?
Yeah, that's Brownie. He's like so attached to me. It's like he's supposed to really be upstairs, but he heard me say, "Hey!" So he's just like, "Okay, let me come downstairs." Yeah,
Oh my
that's my
God.
baby
No,
Brownie.
you're
He's like
fine.
so attached to me. He's attached to my hip. I don't know why, but I
No,
heard
it's good. Well,
he's a
you have good
poodle.
energy, so it's
You know
okay.
what it is? He's a poodle, and I heard that poodles have favorites. So I guess like I'm one of his faves because
You
everywhere I
are.
go, he's like looking for me. Like, where did she go?
Have
Where did
like you
she
have
go?
really good energy, so I can see definitely why he would want
Ah,
to be around you. So yeah, it makes
ah,
sense. Yeah,
thank you.
you're
But
welcome.
let's go back to
Go
you.
ahead.
Let's go back to you.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So what happened? How do you decide that you just want to keep singing in the choir, or you want to make this known to like the world? Like what decision making that comes in? Because there's people that do know how to sing, but you just hear them at church. So what was the feeling inside of you that you felt like you wanted the world to hear your voice?
As a young child or as an adult? Because I have
Both.
two stories.
Both.
Okay. So as a young child, it was always having my parents push me. Um, like I used to sing we used to have different conventions in church, and the bishop at the time, he always wanted me to sing before he preaches, and they would call it a sermonic solo. And so I would have to sing before them. And then one day I got in front of the crowd, and it was like close to like 3,000 people. And my father was like, "Are you scared?" I was like, "No, I got this. Let's go." You know, and so then I went on stage and I froze. But then I saw my grandmother on one side, I saw my mom on the other side, and I was comfortable. Then I started singing. So I knew that once I had gotten over whatever the fear was that I was feeling, I knew I could do it. It was just a matter of me getting over the fear initially because it was hard. As an adult, um, I had around the age of 15, that's when I started singing way more. That's when I had met Little Mo at the time when I did background for her for the choir that I was singing in. And at that time when I sing, I was like 15, and I said, you know what, maybe I should do something with this because what am I going to do? I was still in high school. I was like, I really wasn't sure. I was kind of all over the place, honestly, in my thinking. And then I said, you know what, maybe this is something I can do. And then I connected, like a few years later, I connected with a producer. He heard me sing. He actually heard me sing by mistake, honestly, because I was going to sing background for another person at the studio. And the girl came late. And because she came late, another person said, "Hey, Kristina can sing." And he's like, "Okay, you can sing? Well, let's go hear what you have to do." And I went up there and I started singing, and he was so blown away. He was like, "We're going to work together." And within about a year, I had gotten signed to a label, and then I got nominated for a BET award, and then a few months later, I got nominated for the Stella Award, and then I won the Stella Award.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
See, like you never, like opportunity. I tell people it's not luck. It's being ready at the time
right,
opportunity
right,
comes.
right.
Because what about if she was there on time? Like you
Go,
always have to be, but you always have to be ready when you have like
right,
talents. You always have to be prepared because you just never know when the opportunity is going to knock at your door. And if
right.
you're not ready, you get one shot.
And that's
You're
exactly
not
what it
ready.
was. That's exactly what it was. And I didn't really, honestly, I wasn't going there to sing. Like, I looked crazy that day. I think my weave looked crazy. I looked crazy. I looked insane, Danny. I looked insane. And I wasn't even thinking about like going anywhere because I didn't like how I looked, but because, they were paying me to sing background for the girl. And I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. I needed the extra money because I can get my hair done. So I was like, let's do it.
That's
So
good.
it just worked out. Yeah.
So then when that happened, that's the first time you realized, like, this could be something big. Like, I can have a singing career. This
Yeah,
producer interested in me. So,
right. That's exactly what happened when I met him and he saw the gift that I had in me. He's like, you know what? Let's just do something with this. I don't know what's going to, because he didn't even know himself. He didn't know what was going to come out of it. It was just like two kids. One is good at producing. He's a great musician. The other one can sing. Let's just put it together and let's just see what happens. And that's exactly what happened. It was really by chance. Well, of course, by God first, because God knew what was going to happen. But we didn't know that, so it's just like, okay, well, then let's go ahead and let's see what happens and we'll go from there.
so let me ask you a weird question.
No, you're fine.
How did the girl feel? Like, did
She
she
was
ever?
angry. Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah.
She was so angry. I don't even know her name. Shout out to her. She was a dope girl too. But yeah, she was so angry because she paid for the studio. She paid for the rehearsal time. She paid for the singers. Like she paid for everything, but she was late. And because she was late, the musicians at the time, they were getting upset. Because their day was gonna be wasted. And so, I mean, later on that afternoon, I don't remember, I think her and I spoke. I don't remember what the conversation was, but she wasn't too happy.
What?
Yeah.
Because the producer let it be known that you had a great voice, or she wasn't too happy because you came late? Like, she came late.
She wasn't too happy because she saw the attention at the time that was on me, and it was her setup. But she was
It was
close to
it was her studio session.
it was her session, right? And basically, we were just there just to waste time. Because we were just waiting for her. So we were just wasting time. And so because we wasted time, we weren't really doing anything. So we said, okay, let's just start singing. People were singing. It wasn't just me that was singing, it was other people that were singing too. And then that's when someone pointed out, hey, she can sing. Let her sing. And then things just kind of
So
shifted.
it's not like you did anything malicious or anything like that.
No,
It was like you were at the
no.
right place at the right time.
Right. Exactly. Exactly what happened. What happened. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay. So then you also did the off-Broadway play, The Greatest Love Ever Told. How was
Yes.
that experience?
Oh my God. It was so amazing. Actually I got that through CCC with Pastor A.R. Bernard. At the time there was a lady that was running the musical department, the record label department. Her name was Carol. And she called up and asked us would we be interested in wanting to do this. And we're like, absolutely. It was Tatiana Ali, Clifton Davis, it was actually another man that was there. I can't remember his name right now. We call him Shaft, but his real name I don't remember. But he just recently passed away not too long ago. So yeah, it was Anna Marie Hartsford. It was so many people who you would see like on TV shows from back in the day, and then shows that were on currently that were there. So just to see that I was in their presence, it was just really, really amazing, and how we all connected when it was time for lunchtime because it was for a week. It was at the Beacon Theater. And it was for a week, and we had a really great time, really, really great time. And then years later, I actually did another off-Broadway play with another person. Shout out, her name is Trevi Perche, and I did a play with her, and it was called The Defiled Bed. And in there, I played a character which was very risky, very, very crazy. But
It was anti-pastor. What do you mean by risky?
oh yeah. And it was so crazy because both of my parents were there. So, but I kind of forewarned them prior what the character was going to be and who she was and what she's going to do, and they were just like, "Oh, okay, fine, go ahead, do it." So it worked out. It was fine.
And plus, it's acting anyway. It's not like it's real. You're just playing a role.
Yeah, you're
You
just
know
playing
what
a
I
role, and
mean?
that's exactly, and that's kind of like how I kind of conveyed it to them. Like, it's just a role. This is not my life. I don't do stuff like this. But they were fine in the long run. They were okay.
That's great. Okay, so what are you trying to pursue now? Like, how has this journey been in this music industry? Because I
Ooh,
hear good things, I hear bad things,
ooh,
I hear so much. That's why
I can tell you so
that
much.
people who
Yeah.
go into this industry, I give them so much props and respect because it is not an easy industry to be in. So tell me your experience, tell me your journey just navigating your music career.
Um, it's been it's been a journey. It definitely has been. I actually didn't want to do it any longer. I didn't
Why?
want to
What
sing any.
happened?
So after I won the Stella Award, I won this like one of the most biggest awards in gospel music. After I won the award, I was so excited. I was so happy. I hadn't had my son as of yet, but I was just so happy. And so what happened was, um, I got the award. I came back home. The award show at the time it was in Nashville. And I got the award. I came back home. I showed my parents. We were so excited. And then I got an email from, at the time, I was still working a 9 to 5 job. And then I got an email from my record label. They told me that they were dropping me because they did not want me to sing in gospel music any longer. And they wanted me to go into R&B because they loved my look. And I was like,
Really?
what just happened? Like I
What are you
won this. Yeah,
talking about?
I won this huge award. It's one of the highest awards out there. And now I'm getting dropped. And it's like
Well,
you talk about
before you were getting dropped, did they have a conversation with you? Like, do you want to go into R&B, or they just dropped you, not even asking
no,
you or nothing?
no, nothing. Honestly, they would they was they would sometimes joke about, oh, you can be an R&B artist, they would talk about, how I looked, and at the time, they were like, you sing nice, so why don't you do this? Gospel wasn't selling. This whole thing they were telling me, and I'm just like, that's not true, but okay. And so it was something that was a shock to me because I didn't know they were going to actually drop me. And you don't ever think that. You think when you get a record label, like you're signed to a record label, you're good. I had money at my disposal. I would travel wherever I wanted to go. I was just doing me, so you don't think that you're going to get dropped. So it's kind of like when they dropped you, it's just like, oh my
Wow.
God, what do you do?
What was the explanation? Like, what happens? Like, don't you have contracts and stuff? Like, I hear people get dropped all the time. How does that work?
Mhm.
Is there a consistent like a line that says if we're not satisfied with your performance or not satisfied the way this things are going, they go automatically just renege on the contract? Like, how does that work?
Correct. Well, yes, that does work just like that. Everything that they expected me to do, I did do that. But the issue is that the person that was the label owner also he also was the label owner. He was the manager. He was the person that had the money. He was the person that made the decisions. So he just didn't want to do it. He just was like, I'm done. If you go
Like
into this
done
genre,
with the whole like project, meaning in the music industry, or just
yeah,
done?
he was done with music. He didn't want to do music anymore. He was I don't know what was, maybe he was dealing with something at the time. I'm not sure about that. But he just kind of was like, yeah, I'm done. I just want to move on. I don't want to do this any longer. And if you want to go to another genre of music, I will support you 150%. But if you want to stay into the gospel lane, I'm not interested in it. And I was just like, okay. So,
Oh,
what do you do? So it hurt me, it definitely gave me tougher skin, but it definitely hurt. Because it's like, where do
of
you go
course it
from
hurt.
here?
So
Yeah,
then,
it's like, well,
how did you process this pain of disappointment?
honestly, I went into a depression.
Session.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't know, at the time, we're in the church world. We have
Everything
church
is guarded
jargon,
out. Pray to
everything, right? Church
God.
jargon, church,
Yeah.
we speak a different way. So the word depression was never something that was,
You can't even say the word
that I
depression.
knew of.
Yeah,
Right. I
yeah.
didn't really have that word in my mind. I didn't know of that word. And it wasn't until a couple of years later that's when I figured out, oh, that's what it was, because I happened to hear somebody talk about the word depression. I never even heard of that word before, just being completely honest. And so I was just not feeling myself. And then I was just like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, God, oh my God, you gave me this gift. Like, was it just for this and that's it? Like, did I reach the level and that's all? It's you start questioning yourself, like, was I not good enough? You start thinking about everything, and then you look at yourself, you look at your life, you just look at a bunch of things. And then I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm done with music. I'm done and I don't want to do it anymore. And then at the time I met someone, I dated them and we had a child. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be a mom. And
Mhm.
that's that. I don't want to do anything else besides being a mom. I was getting so many different opportunities for singing and I was giving them away. I didn't want to sing anymore. I don't want to do any, when I tell you, Danny, I don't want to do
Well, that
nothing.
but that's how I know you were in a depression, because what made
Yeah,
you excited was no longer you. The reason you weren't excited about the gift that God had given you was because of the fact that you were in a depression.
right.
Because when you're in a depression, you'll notice the signs that what made that person happy before,
Yeah,
for some reason, doesn't really excite them as much anymore. And that's how, those are like the telltale signs that you can tell if one of your loved ones is going through depression. Because you're right, some people don't have like the words for it. They just
no,
know
yeah,
that they feel sad and they're trying to get themselves out of the depression, but they don't know how, because no one really
no.
talks about it.
And that's exactly what it was. No one spoke about this, even with my parents, even my dad being a pastor, no one spoke about my family calls me Tina. So
Hmm.
then they were like, no one ever said, oh, Tina's going through a depression or this or that. It was just like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go back to work? You're gonna work a 9 to 5 job. You have a child now, so you have to support your child. So all those things was coming to play, and I just was like, but in the midst of me saying I was done with music, I was getting so many different opportunities, so many different places that people wanted to fly me out and go here and do this. I was giving all the way. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was like, no, I'm not good. I was like, you know how they say now the term, get somebody else to do it. That was me. I was like,
Hmm.
get somebody else to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not interested in that. I just want to just be a full-time mom and maybe I'll do something else. There's other talents God has given me. So I'll pick up on one of those and I'll use that. But singing, no, I
So
went
what?
into a
So
really deep
what?
depression.
So what was the turnaround?
I had a conversation with a very good friend of mine,
Hmm.
and she had said to me one time we went out to eat, and she had said to me, she said, you know something, Kristina? She was like, every single time that God presents things to you, or every single time you don't want to sing or you don't want to do anything but the gift that God has given you, you're basically telling God what He gave you isn't good. And you're basically smacking God in his face. I was like, I was like, oh my God. I was like, what? It literally took me months to process that because I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, oh my God. I was like, God, I'm so sorry. What do I do? Because it's like you have to again crawl before you walk. Because I'm like, oh, I'll just get back up and keep walking. No, I'm coming back in a whole new artist now. I'm coming back in from the bottom back to go to the top. Like everything that because it was so long, so it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind type of thing. Like, oh yeah, I heard of that girl. What is she doing? I don't see her anymore. I haven't seen her in years. Yeah, this is why. So I felt bad, and then I asked God to forgive me, and I said, you know what, God, if this is what you want me to do, send the right people to me. Send me the right team. Let me know that this is the right thing. Like, show me their heart. Show me people's hearts, so I know how to make it work for me, and just that we can both come together as one to do something powerful. So that was my genuine prayer.
So I think your friend was saying basically, if God gives you a talent, don't waste it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's a reason
Exactly.
why he gave you that talent, and he wants you to use it. He wants
Right.
you to share it to the world. Like whatever talent you have, whatever is your purpose, it's
Correct.
not meant to keep it to yourself. It's meant for you to share it and inspire other people. Because if
Yeah.
you're sharing it or displaying it and helping other people, then the goodness of that just multiplies to even more people.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Right?
And
So
like he uses you. It's basically he uses you for his glory, but at the time you probably don't even know that because you wonder like what you're doing right now, this platform that God has blessed you to have, you're able to help people by introducing them to so many other people around the world by even encouraging people that might see what you're doing that want to do a podcast but they're afraid. So, he uses us in that form so that we're able to reach. It's each one reach one, so that's just, how it works. So, yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that. That's why if you do, but let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So how'd you get back in it? What was that push that you said, okay, I'm going to do this again? Because
Okay.
now you're a mom now, so things are
I
different now.
am. Things are so different now. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what happened was after I was going through the depression, I joined this church called Remnant Worship Center, and my bishop is Bishop Courtney Bradley.
Where's
And
that
I
at?
went.
Where's the church
The church
located?
is in Brooklyn. It's in Brooklyn on New Lights Avenue. I don't remember the exact address. I just know I
Mhm.
get there, but it's no so on New Lights
So
Avenue in
you're
Brooklyn.
no longer at CCC in Brooklyn.
Well, no, I was never at CCC. I just did
Okay.
some things for them, like
Got it.
outside of it. They had just they hired me for work for different things outside of their church, but I never was an actual member there.
So the pastor knew you and you didn't even go to the church.
No, yeah, I didn't know her. No.
You know what? Because the pastor probably knew your dad, right?
He knew the producer that I was working with, and he also knew the label that I was a part of. So he knew them. So that it
Mm.
kind of worked out like that. But I didn't really deal with a bishop. I mean, Pastor Bernard. I didn't really deal with him. I dealt with another lady by the name of Carol. She was over the music department in the church. I mean, as far as the record label, she was over that. So that's who I dealt with more.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. So then what was the turnaround? What was the turnaround?
The turnaround was when I started going to church, and then I just basically just released everything to God. I asked God to help me, and because I was broken. I was very broken, but I didn't know that I was broken at the time. But I was very broken, and my bishop was the one that reached out to me and he prayed over me. And the church, they all stood behind me and backed me, and they were there just to support me. Anytime I was producing like a project or a single or anything I wanted to do, they would just share it and support me and play the music, and just be a bunch of great things. And so he was the one that poured back into me to say, hey, listen, you have to do this. This is what God wants you to do. And how I know is because I happen to come to this church, I be a part of this ministry, let this man see like things he didn't even know things was going on that I hadn't even shared with him. And he found it out, and God showed it to him, and he expressed it to me what I should do. And so, which he did, and it took some time, but I did it because I had to kind of get over the fear um of everything. That's what the song Face on a Thousand came into play, because I had to get over the fear, because I was so afraid. I was afraid because when you're out of the industry for so long and then you come back into the music industry, it's like, will they like me? Will they want to be my friend? How should I do it? Some people are nice, some people aren't. People who you look up to, they might not be that nice to you. So it's like, well, what do you do? So yeah.
So how long were you out of it? The
I was
industry?
out of I was out of the industry, mm, maybe about close to 6 years.
Wow.
hmm
You still sang, right? You still sang at church and everything. You just
I
was
still
not.
sing, right, but I wasn't doing anything in the spotlight. I was still doing leading praise and worship at my dad's church, and do little small gigs here and there, but I wouldn't promote it, stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I was doing.
Wow.
Yeah,
So that experience really hurt you to the core that you sat there for 6 years and felt like you wasn't worthy enough to find another
yeah,
opportunity because
no,
that door closed, right? But you have
yeah.
such an amazing voice that
Thank you.
I understand that it hurt.
hmm
um but you know what they say, when one door closes another opens up,
Yeah, that's
you know.
exactly what happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
so that's why, like, I'm happy that you're expressing the good parts of your journey and the not so good parts, because people
Yeah.
always think that everyone's, when they're looking outside looking in, they think that everything is so perfect, and people don't
Yeah.
understand that people be
No.
lifing things.
Yeah, life be lifing. Life be
Life
lifing.
be
Yeah.
lifing, you know. And even though this is my talent, this is my career, this is my purpose, this is what I'm doing, it doesn't stop life from lifing. It doesn't stop for getting disappointed. It doesn't stop from feeling pain, from feeling fear. So
Yeah.
everyone has those human emotions,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But it's a choice you make of how you're going to show up.
Yeah.
It's constantly like speaking to yourself, like, I know I'm going through this, but it's constantly having like a relationship with yourself to
Right.
try to pull you, because it took you like about 6 years to kind of pull you out of that fear, to
Yeah.
get confirmation from someone else saying, okay, it's time. I've let you mourn. I've let you be sad. I've let you process the why did this happen, but now there's new seeds to be planted. I must have said a word because she's not there. Basically, I was saying that when opportunities come to you and you're so excited and you're so happy, just understand that when these opportunities come, life is still lifing. Can I hear you or no?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you.
Okay,
You
cool.
know, no. So what I was saying to people, that even though your dreams are coming true, even though you're doing your
Right.
purpose, even though you're doing your passion, sometimes people think like everything is going to just work smoothly, and it doesn't, because
100%.
life doesn't care if you're a billionaire or if you're only making
No.
$1 an hour.
No.
I think life is indiscriminate sometimes,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's true.
where the people that you might worship, you might not know this, but behind the scenes, just like you're going
Yeah.
through so much.
Yeah. It's so true. Also too, that's why it it really, really pays to have the right people in your ear. It pays. It pays to have the right people in your ear, the right people that um genuinely have your back and genuinely want you to succeed. Because having the wrong people in your ear and not having people that'll push you to your capacity, push you towards your dreams, push you towards your visions, no. They'll those people are settlers, and there's nothing wrong for that for them, but for me, I'm not a settler. I'm not going to settle. That's just not, it's not in me to settle. It's not. I've come from a line of leaders and a line of people that have chased their dreams. So for me to not go out and chase my dreams, I'm I'm doing a disservice to myself. So I think it pays to have the right team and the right core. And not to say that anybody from my previous team were not the right team. They were the team for that season. And it's fine because they were able to get me to where I had to go. But the issue is that now, with me, for one, being a mom, and understanding what parenthood is, and how to raise a child, and learning how to raise a child, and learning what to do to be a better mom, and then having a child, having a career, then having a career and taking care of a child, and then figuring out what you're going to eat, what the child's going to eat, figuring out, it's life, it's like, so
And
for me,
it's not easy. It's
no,
not
oh my
easy to
God,
it's not easy to
no.
balance, because you have to pour into yourself, but you also have to pour into the child, or if you have children. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's an active, you have to be like an active participant in both of your life. You have to be an active participant in your life, and then you have to be an active participant in their life, because they're looking at you for direction.
right, exactly. And it's like with you trying to give them direction, then on top of that, trying to make sure you still balance yourself. So it's like, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a
It's a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
Like pouring into yourself, pouring self-love into yourself, self-care into yourself, making time for yourself.
And
And
honestly, I didn't even really know what self-care was until like that became like a whole thing. I knew I would like, oh, I'm gonna get my nails done. Oh, I'm gonna go get a massage. Oh, I'm gonna get my hair done. But to know that's called self-care, I didn't really know that that was what it was called until a few years ago. I never even knew that.
well, you also have to self-care your mental health too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because even when you were talking about like circles around you, you have to have the right
Yeah.
people around you.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're at the tipping point, you have to be you have to have discernment into who
Discernment.
to listen
Mm-hmm.
to,
Yep. I
because
say that all the time.
sometimes you're tipping to the wrong direction,
The
and
wrong.
you
Yeah.
have negative people around you that's saying things to you, you get pushed into that direction
Yep.
because of how you feeling about
And
yourself.
then you know what? Because by this time you're going off of emotions, and you're not
Yes.
going off of what God is saying to you, because your ear is so like convoluted, because there's so much going on. Everything is stuck, everything is blocked, like you don't see clearly,
It's like
so
the eclipse, right?
like the eclipse. It's
Look,
like the eclipse.
you be shining, all of a sudden somebody's like this,
Right. It is like, that's
blocking
exactly
you,
what it was.
and you can't see.
No, you can't. And that's exactly what it was for me. The same thing. And I'm like, what do I do? Like, when I tell you, Danny, I was stuck. I was so stuck.
But
I
there's
was
so
like,
many there. But you know what? You're not alone. There's sometimes like there's so many things in life. It's happened to so many people where they get stuck, and it's like a record being played over and over again, and they can't
yeah,
get to the next song. They can't get to
yeah,
the next place. And I
yeah,
think one of the hardest things for human beings is accepting change.
yeah. Ooh,
Oh,
it's hard.
girl,
It's hard.
that
Like,
word
it's so
change.
crazy. There's a pastor that I know, and he was talking about change. He was talking about how it's a lot of people are afraid to accept change because they're so used to being so complacent
Like
and
comfortable. This
very
feels good.
comfortable.
This feels
Comfort
nice.
zone. Like
Yeah.
Vanessa Williams had back in the day the song "Comfort Zone." It's true. Welcome to the comfort zone. Like, you don't want anything different. Anything different is kind of like, you know, ugh, I want to go back. So that was me. That was me for all those years. I was comfortable. I was complacent. I was fine. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be the girl that's going to come to church and I'll sit in the back and leave. Like, that was me. I didn't want to do anything else because I did so much at my dad's church. I did so much just overall. I wanted a little break. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I don't want to do anything. I just want to just be poured into, because sometimes you need to be poured into. So this way you can be able to pour out,
Mhm.
So I think that was what it was with me. It was
But
just that.
you know what happens with the comfort zone though?
Yeah,
If you stay there too long, you don't grow.
that's true. That's true.
You
That's
get like
true.
if you just stay there too long and it's comfortable. And I know we love being comfortable, right? But if you have more in you to pour out to the world,
Yeah,
there has to be a time where you kind of go into that place of uncomfort. Because
right.
when it's uncomfortable and when it's painful, when it's anxious, when it's fearful, sometimes people might see that as a negative, but sometimes it's a positive because you're entering into a new frontier that
Right.
you're not used to, but you're moving forward to a
Right.
new place that you eventually might be, comfortable again.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And that's exactly what it was for me. It was just that I knew once I got out of that comfort zone, once I got out of me just focusing on what I needed to do for myself, and like I said, having the right people around me, I knew that, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna fight past my fears, because
Yeah.
the fears be fearing.
The fear
The
be
fears
fear, yo.
the fears
The
be
fear be making you
fearing.
see things and
Oh,
feel
oh my God.
get
The
there.
fears be fearing. The fears be fearing, honey. You hear me? And I was
No,
like,
I
yeah,
hear you.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm like, the fears be
No,
fearing. I'm like,
I
all
hear
right,
you
we
because
gotta make it.
fear stops a lot of us.
Yeah,
You
it's
know, and and
essential.
and
Yeah,
and fear is a good thing because it protects us from not doing things that are unsafe.
correct.
But we have to have discernment when we have fear too. Like
Right.
we have to really talk to ourselves and say, is this fear because I'm making this up in my mind?
Right.
Or is there a real danger that my body is saying no?
Right. And I think that's sometimes hard because it's like you want to go off of what you're feeling. You do. You want to go off on what you're feeling. You want to go off on that feeling down at the pit of your stomach. You're like, this doesn't feel right. And then you also want to make sure that I said earlier that your ears, that God can speak to you in your ears, so he'll tell you this is the right decision. This is not the right. And it also helps too. Sometimes people would just happen to say things to you within that week. And they'll say a word or a
It's a
phrase or
confirmation.
something, and it's a
It's a
confirmation to what you're
confirmation.
feeling. You're like,
It's a confirmation.
And they don't even know what they're saying. They don't even know how what they said resonated with you. They have no idea. They don't even know that, but what you know it. So you're like, okay, God, thank you. That's all I need to know. I'm not going to do that, but you know what? I'm going to go forth and do that. So yeah, it happens all the time.
No, when you're connected with, with, the Father above, God, however, whatever, you want to
Yes.
call it, universe, spirituality. I think when you feel it in your gut, there's a different, it's good to take the emotions out of things so you
Right.
can make more of a firm decision. And it's
Correct.
not, because sometimes your emotions do get the best of you and you're not really, thinking straight because you're emotional about it, right?
Right.
But I really do believe, like, there's a thing called instincts
Instinct. Mm-hmm.
that, I don't know. As I got older, I'm more in tune with it.
But he gives that to us mothers too. He places that in us. The intuitions. He gives mothers that. That's why God
Yeah,
is
because I
great.
never hear men talk about intuition,
No,
right?
I don't know if they necessarily have that, and I'm no disrespect to the men, but
Yeah.
I know for God, He gives mothers intuition. He gives you that. He gives you that feeling. Like he gives you that something that where you know something is just like it doesn't feel good, or something feels unsettling. He gives
I
that to
never,
you.
you know what it is? I never ever ask a man, do they have instincts too? Because it's always women that, talk
That's a
about
good
it.
question to ask a man. I want to say they probably do in some form. I don't know what form that is, but I know they. I mean, he created us in his own image. Some Christian they do have. That's why prophets. There are people that are prophets, people that God has gift to have a gift of prophecy. They give them things to say for the world or say to people. So that yes, that is true. But for mothers, it's a different type of uh thing that he places down on each one of us. Yeah, definitely for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I am more in tune with my internal instincts, more
Yeah.
than ever, because I feel like it's like a direction map. Like when you don't know where you're supposed to go, left or right, straight or
Right.
something pours into you. And I like to just be in a quiet space so I can
Hmm.
hear, because you know how you notice that you keep saying here. I
Right.
think you don't hear if you're not in a quiet space, because life
Yeah.
gets so busy, gets so
Yeah.
noisy, that that's part of self-care. You need to have solitude so
Right.
you can hear and feel what the answer is. Sometimes
Hmm.
your body will tell you the answer, but
Right.
it's because you're in a noisy place, and not really literally noisy like honk honk like whatever, but just
Yeah, but I
noisy
know
like
what you mean.
life.
Yeah.
Life is
Life. Yeah.
busy, friends like this, that, you're ripping and running. That you need to take time to yourself so you can ask yourself questions so those answers can come to you.
Correct. I
So
I
where do
totally
you
agree with that.
so where do you see your career going now?
Well, now I'm back singing again. I'm
Yay!
back
Yo, you
recording
should have saw
again.
the glow. That's why I want to give you your flowers. I'm proud of you, sis,
Oh,
because you just
oh,
came with this glow. So I
oh,
am
thanks,
so
Danny.
proud of you, sis, because it's a journey to actually go through that pain you're going through.
Hmm.
And you gave your time to heal in your own timing, but
Right.
to see the glow, I know that was your purpose, because as soon as you was like,
Oh,
I see it in your face.
oh,
I'm so proud of you,
wow.
sis.
Oh, Danny, don't make me cry. Thank you.
I want to give you your
uh,
flowers for
Thank
sure,
you.
because
I
um
appreciate that.
yeah, because it's hard to pull yourself out of a disappointment that
Yeah.
has to do with your actual purpose. And so it's not like a disappointment like you missed the bus or your hair didn't come out right.
Right.
It's a purpose
It's a
disappointment.
purpose disappointment.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And those
That's heavy.
sometimes
That's heavy.
hurt for a
Yeah.
long it hurts for a long time,
It
especially
does.
when you're confused. Like you said, like, God, was I supposed to be doing this? Or maybe
Right.
I was just like, there's no way you gave me this gift and I'm not supposed to do anything with it.
Correct.
So what are you doing now? What are you doing now?
So right now I'm actually back recording. I just connected with a few producers, so we're going to be working, and a few writers as well. They're going to be helping me just kind of put everything together as far as what I want to say. I'm going to also be doing a few things which I can't speak on right yet, but I
That's
can tell
okay.
you
You'll
off
be back.
camera
You'll be
that
back. You'll be
it's
back.
things brewing. A lot of things are brewing, which I'm really grateful to God for. So and then I'm just really working on a lot of things for what I want to do as far as with my company, Faith on 1,000. It's a lifestyle brand, so I'm going to be doing some things with Faith on 1,000 outside of the
Do you have
singing.
any handles that you want to give to people right now about Faith on 1,000?
Absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram as Faith on 1,000 is spelled the word faith and then on the letter A, then the word thousand, THOUSAND, Faith on 1,000. And then you can even follow me on Instagram. My name Kristina Halloway, Kristina with a K, Halloway HALLOWAY. So yeah, I definitely, and I have a website, KristinaHalloway.org as well. So yeah, I've just been focused. I'm ready to just pound the pavement. I'm ready to get back out there and, just use the, like I said, the gifts and talents that God has given me and just to make everything work and do what I have to do for myself. And that's it.
So both of your songs are currently on Spotify and iTunes, right?
They
Faith
are.
on
Yes, they are.
1,000
Yes.
and Just a Sunrise Away.
Yeah.
Tell me about the songs. Why are they so powerful to you?
Okay. So Just a Sunrise Away was the first song that I recorded when I came back from the industry. So when I started to come back into the music industry, that's what the first song that I recorded. I was extremely nervous because it's basically saying don't give it up. It's an inspirational song, telling people not to give up, telling people to hold steadfast to what they want, telling people just to keep the fight, keep going because life, like you said, life sometimes and it's hard and you need people to just push you, to just to kind of push it back and like, listen, you can fall on me for a while. I got you, but don't stay there. Don't stay there. You gotta keep going. Don't stay there. So and then with Faith on 1,000, Faith on 1,000 was the producer, actually the one that I recorded and won the Stella Award with. He actually wrote this song. And him and we got together. He was like, yo, he said he was sitting in his bedroom one night and he said the song just came to him. So he got up and he went into the studio. He started playing a melody. He was like, keep your faith on 1,000, keep your faith on 1,000. He was like, it gotta be like a movement, it gotta be a chant. And I'm just like, okay, brother, yeah, call me tomorrow. I'm tired. Because I wasn't there. And so when I heard it, I was like, oh, absolutely, let's do it. So that's where it came from. It came from him. He actually wrote the song. And then I said, you know what? I want to make this bigger than what it is. And he's like, yo, do it. You should do it. And that's exactly what I did. I just kind of just took it off and made it my own thing. So yeah, that's
So
what
where do
happened with that.
you okay, so let's manifest right now.
Got
Where
it.
would you want to be?
Within where?
Within your, okay, what do you see? Like, let's manifest it, meaning that it
Okay.
hasn't happened yet, but this is what you want to happen.
I'm gonna win a Grammy.
Yay!
I'm getting more into acting, so I definitely want to be on a TV show or on a series, something like that. If it was preferably comedy, I would love that, or even like a drama, but comedy first. I am going to do a lot of different things with women as far as helping women out in different areas, whether it's from a single moms, rather it's from women that want to start businesses or women that are just needing guidance on what to do with their life. I'm going to be doing some things for that. I'm going to be doing more modeling. I gotta,
pretty lady.
Gotta use this.
Yay. All of that.
So yeah,
all of that.
so I'm gonna be doing that. So you're gonna be seeing some pretty big things coming from this girl right here, and hopefully you'll be a part of it as well.
Yes,
which I would love.
of course I'll be a part of it. Of course.
I would love
and
that.
That's why I have you here. I wanted to give you your flowers. I am
I
so
appreciate
proud
you,
of
Danny.
you. Can't wait for you to come back so you could talk,
Yes.
about the projects, because I know that you can't talk about them now, but
Right.
I can't wait for you to come back for the part 2 of the continuation.
It's gonna be a part 2 for sure.
Part 2 of giving Kristina Halloway her flowers. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. I'm proud of you, sis. I am Danni Benson, and see you next
and Danny, thank
week.
you. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Girl, I'm here to spread love.
I don't know. I
So
love
I'm
it.
so happy that you actually came on my show.
Of
And
course.
for anyone out there who's inspired, please contact Kristina Halloway. And everyone, have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you for
Bye.
joining. I'm proud of you, sis. And next time, Kristina will sing. I promise you.
I
Next
will. I
time,
promise.
she
I
will
am.
sing.
I will.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.